Behind a closed door, a sinister world thrives. Human trafficking. Human trafficking is something that has been in our community, in our society, something that has been eating up the world. We have people who are fighting human trafficking. Some of you do not know that actually you have been human trafficked. Others do not understand what human trafficking is all about. Today, we are here to let the world know about human trafficking. You may be there and we talk about something that resonates well with you. Wherever you are, you're able to say, no, I cannot accept to be trafficked. Be it a woman, be it a man, and children who are being trafficked all over the world. It may be a vice in Uganda, the whole of Africa, in the United States, in the UK. Human trafficking is a disease that is eating up humanity. Together with me is Damon Wamala, the executive director of the Uganda Child
Rights
Network. And he's going to be letting us know about the dangers, the problems that are involved in human trafficking. As a whole, you're most welcome, my dear brother.
Thank you very much, Brian. It's a joy to be with you today.
Great. It's my pleasure having you on this podcast. And we are looking at the vice, at the challenge, at the problem of human trafficking. To you, let us know, what is human trafficking?
Yeah. Thank you, Brian. The human trafficking, according to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, according to the United Nations, according to our Trafficking in Persons Act here in Uganda, refers to the act of transferring, of recruiting, transporting for the through the act of coercion, deceiving, by fraud, for the purpose of exploiting. So it is three things. It is the act, the means, and the purpose. That's how you can summarize what human trafficking is. The act is the act of transporting, the act of recruiting, the act of harboring a person. And then the means is, how did you do it? Was it by coercion? Was it by deceit? Was it by abuse of power because of your office that you occupy? Was it by coercion? You know, what was the means? And the reason is only one. Your intent was to exploit the person that you've trafficked.
Wow. In this case, we want us to understand it on a layman's, knowledge. I believe that when somebody is being trafficked, they are not aware that they are being trafficked.
Sometimes.
Sometimes they also aware.
Yes.
They are being trafficked.
Yes. Yes.
Because they also involve themselves.
Yes.
In the end goal.
Yes.
Of the reason why trafficking happens.
Yeah.
So in this case, people who are being trafficked, let's talk about first the big people who are trafficked before we go to the children. Maybe children are innocent. But in line of, give us examples of where somebody will understand that actually this is human trafficking. When we use this line of Uganda, where does human trafficking commonly appear?
So when we're talking about human trafficking, there are certain ingredients that you look at that end up showing you that this is a possible case of human trafficking or something of the sort. The first thing I want to say, and the reason why I said it is possible that you even know you're being trafficked, is one, is that, like I've told you, there is deceit.
Yes.
They are lying to you, but you can see, but you say that, look, I'm going on an aeroplane.
Yes.
What can beat? It's my chance to get on a plane.
Yes.
So whether I'm going to be trafficked, you'll hear the guy saying, sifayo.
Yes.
Kasa ngenda korachi, ngenda kufuna $1.
Yes.
The two, they're lying to you and they're telling you that oja kufuna $1.
Yes.
You're going to earn dollars. And you're dealing with Ugandans who have been earning shillings.
Yes.
Now you're telling me I have a chance to get $1.
Yes.
Even you and I, Brian, who don't earn in dollars,
Yes.
that's a good opportunity.
Right.
I'm still looking for a job myself that can earn me dollars
Yes.
rather than shillings. But those ingredients, those wishes that people have, and they're easily deceived and are taken. That's why I'm saying that even when you know, you see that I'm going, but ne one korachi kangene for them kasenti. And then when you go, you do not know that at the end, the exploitation that will happen can even end up into you passing away. Going back now to the question you asked about to help make it real. One, when you're talking about human trafficking, there is what we call there's what we call Uganda being three things. One, we are a sending country.
Yes.
Two, we're transit.
Yeah.
Three, we are also a host.
Yeah.
What does that mean? It means that we're sending country, meaning that we have children or adults who are sent from here and are sent to be exploited. It sounds wrong, but it is the reality. That means that indigenous here, there are people who are recruiting,
Yes.
who are looking for people and are actively recruiting them to be taken, to be trafficked
Yes.
and exploited.
Yes.
Two, and this is through the different actions of, call it for organ harvesting.
Yes.
For those who want to get some organs, you know how expensive organs are. Two, they also do it for purposes of sexual exploitation.
Yes.
We have very many girls in the Asian countries, yes, that are being exploited, Thailand, Malaysia, Dubai, yes, that are being taken there for the purpose of sexual exploitation, yes, to work as ladies of the night. Yes. Three, we also have those who are taken for the manual labor. Yes. They're taken to work in the houses and are used, are exploited, yes, and are not paid for the work that they're doing. Now, that is what we call by a sending country. Yes. Ugandans are going and are being exploited. Yeah. Two, we are a transit. Transit means that our country is being used as a way through which people are trafficked and gone. And here we have Burundians, Rwandese, and we also have Somalis, we have Eritreans, we have Ethiopians, we have Sudanese, yes, South Sudanese, Congolese, yes, all these. We even have South Africans. We even have Asians
who are being, yes,
they're brought here and they are transit. We're just a transit for them to go to their final country of exploitation. Yes. They're not necessarily ending up here and being exploited here. Yes. They're just a transit through. Yeah. And sometimes they'll go through here, go through Entebbe, or sometimes go through here and go through to Kenya, yeah, where they go through Jomo Kenyatta. Yes. But finally, the third one, which is that we're also a host, means that there are those who are transferred for the purpose of being exploited here, yes, in the country. Yes. And we have very many in Rwandese and Burundian girls, and even young children who are brought in, who are exploited in the coffee plantations, the agriculture plantations. Being more real, having said that, then that means that as Uganda, trafficking happens both by us sending and by us exploiting. As Ugandans, that is happening here. How is it happening? When you go to the sugarcane plantations, yes, along Ginger Road, yes, Kampala Ginger Highway, Lugazi, yes, and also Kachira, and all those places, children are brought from the different places, and because they are cheap labor, they're not paid expensively like the adults will charge, and because they don't have that they do not know their rights to be able to claim and say nedda, yes, so yes, because for them some food, they will go for that. Yes. You have very many children who are exploited in the sugarcane plantations. Yes. Go to the coffee in Western Uganda. Yes. The coffee plantations, and Western Uganda is known for the coffee, yes, the coffee, Western Uganda, and also West Nile, yes, is known for the coffee that is grown there. They are the children who are exploited in picking of this coffee. Yes. Tea, the same thing. Yes. Rice in the East, the rice plantations, and this has picked up. Yeah. Children are sent to be in there to be the scarecrows.
Scarecrows, yes.
That is still a form of trafficking because they're exploiting as long as there is a recruitment.
Yes.
So, have they come and convinced you? Yes. Have they come and picked you?
Yes.
Yes. Are they keeping you somewhere? Yes. Why are they keeping you somewhere? Because their intent is to exploit you.
Yes.
That is trafficking. Yes. We also have the most common one that many of us are victim of.
Yes.
Probably even you, Brian, you may be a victim of it.
Yes.
Bringing young girls from the villages to work at home.
Yes.
So you have gone, you have asked somebody, please,
yes,
bring me, get
come
me
and
somebody.
work as a house manager.
Come and house manager. No, babysitter.
Babysitter. Yes.
And then you say, you even tell the parents, I'm going to take the child to school. I'm going to give them a better. But when you bring them, they don't even see school.
Yes.
They stay at home. Their job is to take care of the baby. Their job is to clean the house. Their job is to cook food.
Yes.
That in its own is recruitment, transportation, harboring, and exploiting. Yes. And you see, for children, it's different. You don't even have, a child doesn't give consent.
Yeah.
Naturally, anyone below the age of 18 can never give consent. So anything that happens for a child below 18, there's no consent. So even trafficking for them, there is no need to prove that there was coercion or there was fraud. No, as long as they were recruited, transported, harbored for the reason of exploiting them, that is, and you can be charged for trafficking. So when you get a girl as a housemaid below the age of 18, you bring them, you then use them at home for labor, you are actually carrying out trafficking. That is the one I can bring home.
Now, you see, when you talk about that, having a maid in the house, and this maid came to work, below 18 would say, and you call it trafficking. I want to understand it in this form. I go to in the village, I realize there are many children who are actually idle. And I choose to pick this girl to take them to my house to work as a house manager. We're trying to call them house managers, maybe train them through. Yes, I can't afford school fees to take her to school, but I can afford a small pay to pay her as she gets also income from a very poor family. In this case, why do you call it human trafficking? Why do you term it under trafficking when I have extended a helping hand for a child to come into my house, pay them some little money instead of being wasted at the village where they live?
The point is, you are bringing the child not because you want them to have a better life, but because you want them to work for you. You are exploiting them. By law, a child should be in two places, home and school. During the holidays, they're at home. That is where they should be learning the housework. That is where they should be built up in terms of the other activities beyond the books. But as long as it is education, it is a school term, education is a priority. And in Uganda, education is compulsory for every school age going child. Now, so when they are away, if you are engaging these children, they are going to school, but they still come back and have opportunity to do housework. That is not exploitation. That is grooming. Home. Yes,
that's grooming.
And even the law in Uganda says that a child who is 16 years can engage in acceptable work. The key word is acceptable. Acceptable means that it is not going to interfere with them being a child. What does it mean to be a child? It means you are going to continue developing both physically and every other way as a child. You'll still have time to play, because for children, play is important. It's part of their development. You will still have time to rest. You'll still have time to go to school. So there has to be that whole balance. Now, a person who has brought the girl from the village with the intention for them to babysit, and you're saying they still have to go out and play, they still have to sleep, they still have to... Is that what is going to happen? Because for them, waking up, it is 4 o'clock. For them, it is that they have to cook, they have to wash the dishes before they go to school. At the end, if it is above and is interrupting their well-being as a child, that becomes exploitation, and that becomes unacceptable work.
Now, when we talk about this, in a community, in a country where poverty is biting so hard, that you find that this family has children that can't afford even to go for free education. Well, we call it, because in this country we have free education, but you realize that the minimum, even subjecting some little lunch, because I know most of the schools in Uganda, you have to provide some little lunch, the parent. The child chooses to leave school, they are 15 years. And again, the same child is taken in somebody's home to work. I know it's expectation, but in real sense, when they're earning some little money to support their families as well. Why do we still insist? Okay, if we call it human trafficking in this way, what happens to these children who are not in school, who are not having serious, proper homes? Where do you want them to go as an organization or as an individual? Where would you find this child going? Because we're having a lot of child mothers. You've seen it. That children who are becoming idle on the villages, they're becoming child mothers. And you've seen that the vice is increasing and even tripling each year that comes. In this case, where do you see these girl children, especially because most of them are girl children, by the way, where do you see them going if the law bites harder for those who are trying to help them?
So, Brian, you have asked like 6 questions in your one question. And one of let me try and tackle one by one. The first one you are asking is these girls. You've brought in a concept that the child helps earn an income for the family with the poverty situation we're in. But that is wrong. A child is not supposed to earn for the family. The parents are supposed to earn for the family. That is changing the whole concept of responsibilities. The parents have the primary responsibility for providing for the house. And we should make sure we go back to that. One of the reasons why we are in the problems that you're talking about is because the parenting has gone to the dogs. Parenting is no longer happening. Parents are supposed to offer the protection for the child. They're supposed to make sure that the child is receiving the basic everything they need. That even if they're not going to school, at home, they can receive the education they can be able to receive. One of the things is that we need to look at and approach it is from seeing that we need to continue pushing the government to ensure that universal free education is actually universal free education. And not just any ordinary education, but quality education. That is one. It is the government's responsibility. We should not shy away from holding government accountable for that. 2, the important thing for us to have is that the parent's responsibility, primary responsibility, is to take care of the child when the child is young. So that when the child grows up and is old, the child can be able to take care of the parent. If you fail to take care of your child and instead you want your child to take care of you, when they grow old, it is going to become a syndicate. They will also wait for their children to take care of them. That is not how original design of life is. It's supposed to be the other way around. Secondly, you bring in the concept of culture. And culture for me is very important because in Africa, we don't have orphans.
Because every child, at least there's somebody.
Where did I chi?
Even a neighbor.
Where did I chi? Where did I chi? So every person who is from the Inte clan is your father.
Or is your relative, is your auntie.
Traditionally, they are your father. It is your mother's clan that is your mother. So if you're looking at it, our rich culture, Africa is rich in our culture. We don't have orphans. The moment your parents pass away, the responsibility is shifted to your uncle or your auntie. If they have failed, the clan is supposed to take over. But our clan, our culture that is now going down and also going to the dogs is killing our community. And I think for me, if you look at not trying to be tribalistic, but if you look at some of the regions in this country, the moment they're on the street and then they find out that you're from their village, how do you stay on the street? They will immediately take you off, educate you, and make sure you come out because you will not ashame us. For us from this village, this chalo, no one is going to be uneducated. All the children have to. it is a village affair.
Yes.
It is the village that is saying, Neda, we are going to bring you up and raise you. At the end, the culture is taking charge. I think that you don't even need to be related to me, as long as you mention that you're from the village and say, your father was my father's friend. Come. And we go to, you know what
And
I'm
even
talking
by
about.
language, some people speak the same language,
And they
somebody
quickly
will pick
come.
up immediately.
And that is the culture identity grabbing. And that's the richness that we have with the culture, that some areas do not have. Others have it that will make sure that their family doesn't make it. But others are making sure that everyone comes out. Because if they do not help that neighbor, they are going to become a burden begging for money. So let us teach them so that they don't be a burden to us. Instead, they can continue the cycle. If we can get back our rich culture.
Would be.
And these are the conversations we have had with the kingdoms. And saying your role in ending trafficking is that these children who are looking, saying, Mama, you have to go here. Immediately, if the mother has gone away, the culture comes in and says, Wedirachi, Jangu, here's your chief. Tell your chief, your child, your clan is on the street. And then deal with that situation. Let the clans take charge. Let our tribes, our culture, take charge over that. There is no orphan in Uganda. We all belong to something. We all belong to somewhere. We have a home. Third, so for me, the answer there is going back to our culture. We need to make sure that our cultural leaders understand that it is not just about having the security. It's not just about clearing the roads for you and we lie down and prostrate ourselves. It is about ensuring that all of us are protected under our culture. Who is a king without the people, the subjects? The subjects make the king.
Absolutely.
So if the children are not going to be there, then who's going to be the subject in the future?
It means the kingdom is not there anymore.
So if we don't protect our subjects now and ensure our subjects are provided for, the future is at stake, including our kingdom, including our cultures. Then the last bit you're bringing up, still around poverty, is that even with the children in the communities, it is important that the communities ensure that these children are protected. Me being out of school does not make it acceptable to be exploited. This is why we need to push government to make sure that schools are accessible. 2, that schools are free and are actually free. 3, that the communities can take charge of the schools. The school feeding. Why should feeding be a problem in Uganda? We're in agriculture. Our backbone is agriculture. I keep on laughing and saying that if you look at the regions that are most affected by trafficking, these regions usually are not predominantly agriculture. And they have a lot of poverty, the food starvation and all that. But it's not the whole of Uganda that is full of starvation. While some areas don't have food, others are poor in the food. The solution does not even have to be the United Nations sending funds here. The solution is homegrown. How do we get the food from one region to the other region? The food that is going to go to waste, how do we modify the food, make sure it is long staying, and then carry it and take it to the other side?
And feed our own.
The solution is at home. We have it. Food is being wasted. Third, how do we engage the private sector to stop being a part of trafficking? The sugarcanes are run by who?
By the big shots.
The coffee is run by who?
By the big men.
Do you know that at one time America banned cocoa from Ghana? And they banned cocoa from Ghana because Ghana was using children to harvest, and in the process, children were part of the process chain of cocoa. And what America did is that they put a ban. This includes Cadbury, the chocolate. They put a ban on any cocoa that was coming from Ghana. When they did that, Ghana had to restructure, put systems in place, and the private sector made sure that even the outgrowers were not using children in their chain process. Right now, as we talk, there are some of the private sector who are dealing in cotton, especially. Because the cotton is exported a lot to America. Remember before the AGOA and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And even Netherlands and all this cotton is going that side. But for you to sell your shirts and anything, they come and do a proper assessment. I've been part of some of the assessments. I've been called in to do assessments and write assessments,
Yeah.
where you have to write to the other company and say that, yes, this company actually does not, where they buy the cotton from, children are not in the pipeline. We actually go and look at the chain, the whole chain, and write a full report, and then they are accepted. We need to do the same. Do we go and see the sugar? If one sugar factory, I'll not mention because we might be sued. But if one sugar factory decided and we found that they're using children, can we run a campaign here and say, don't buy sugar from this factory, they're using children? Or don't buy sugar from these factories, let's buy sugar from elsewhere. And the whole country decides to do that. Won't children be protected?
They will be protected.
Can't these sugar factories put schools? So they're going to say, but the children are doing nothing. Let the sugar factories build the schools.
There.
Let the mining companies build the schools. I haven't even told you about the mining of gold and marble. Yeah. Let them put the schools there so the children are in school as the mining is happening.
And let the parents also chase away the children to school.
Yes.
Instead of being to this place.
Talk about the stone quarries where children are being used to break the stones, and yet that is a health hazard to them. Let us make sure that we don't buy stones from there. Yeah. If you kill the business, then you will even stop the trafficking. By the way, according to statistics, there's more internal trafficking that happens compared to the cross-border. Yeah.
Maybe we are not aware that we're doing trafficking. Thank you so much, guys. Those who are watching us, and I'm sure you're learning something, and let's do our best, make sure that you learn a thing or two. This information is needed. You may be there and you don't know that even that child you have, that girl you have in your house, you trafficked that child. And if you're not aware, somebody who brought this child, trafficked this child, trafficked this girl, trafficked this boy, who is opening up the gate for you. Why? Because you're paying them some peanuts or you're paying them a little money. Even if you're paying them actually enough money, they are underage. And we need to protect humanity. So let's talk about this vice. So many girls are leaving Uganda and are being taken to Saudi Arabia. I will mention the country: Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Dubai. And they are promised jobs in Jordan, anywhere. And whenever you are at the airport, you see so many girls that are dressed and leaving the country. Is it a plus to the country or it is a minus? And secondly, somebody is in the village. Maybe they have been trafficked in Uganda. They are housemates and they are being paid 150,000 Uganda shillings. Who are few, most of them are 60,000, 70,000. And then somebody has been told that you can go to Saudi Arabia and earn 1 million.
Actually, $1,000.
Okay, they are told $1,000, which is not true at the end of the day. Yeah. And they feel they are going to board the plane. They have a passport for their first time, and they are leaving the country.
And they're going to earn dollars.
And they're going to earn dollars. And they're going to change the history or the story of their family. You as Damon, do you agree to that? Do you accept it? Do you believe in it? Is it okay? It's an option. I was earning 150,000. I'm now in Saudi Arabia earning my 1 million Uganda shillings or 2 million Uganda shillings. To you as a parent, is it okay? And if I've boarded a plane and I'm earning my dollars, why do you say that is trafficking?
So the first thing that we need to clear the air is that not everyone who is traveling out for job is trafficked. We actually have the clear recruiting agencies that are validated by government. And you know, this is part of the way to manage trafficking. Create clear pathways. First of all, you need to understand that migration is a human right. Everyone and anyone is allowed to migrate wherever they want. But what we need to do is to make sure that in the process of your migration, you are protected and you are safe. That's the important thing. So not everyone who is migrating for work is actually trafficked. There are very many stories of successful migrants who go, work, come back, make a better life for themselves, and have businesses and houses and everything. There are very many of those stories. There are those challenges that happen that Ugandans are not used to. So the first thing that I would say is that before you go, understand the work you're going to do. Appreciate what you're going to do. Appreciate your job description. Read it, understand it before you commit. Because the other side, when you commit, and people hold you accountable. They have the systems of holding people accountable. The last one is, and so if you have to migrate, please use the right channels to protect yourself. Because those right channels have also been held accountable, that if Brian, you're tired and you want to come back, there are systems in place for you to process and you return. Yeah? But then the other bit is, the moment you are traveling on unclear circumstances, please run away. Please run away. Because the pain and suffering you'll have the other side will cost you more than the $500, than the 1 million Uganda shillings you're earning. It will be way more costly. Way more costly. The ticket coming back, the abuse, the trauma, all that will be way more costly. But you see, we're talking about this now. Somebody's listening. But they're still going to ignore that and say,
Yes. They are looking at the end goal.
Yes.
But not the process.
Not the process or the eventual outcome. Why I would say again, going is a danger, beyond even human trafficking, is that we have had very many women who have abandoned their families to go to work with no clear plan on how to manage the family back at home. At the end, we have found that many of the children who are being abused and being taken advantage of, their mothers are away. I have had calls and people have sent me messages saying, please help me, you're a child rights organization. Now I went for work, now my child is this. What was your plan when you were leaving?
Did you inform the organization?
You didn't even inform us, but now you want us to come.
And yet the proper way, inform the organizations. If you
not
feel
even
they want to protect
you should have already created the safeguarding system that if your child is, they know they can go to Jaja, they can go to who, they can make this call, or they can call their relatives to come in and help in whichever way. But the moment there is no clear plan, in Ginger, many of the children who are on the streets, when we asked them, they said, we don't know, our mother went outside countries, we don't know where they are. And then the mother said, and they're like, but what was your plan? Yes. What was the plan? Did you pay for boarding school? Did you pay for what? Some of the young babies you've had who are in school, boarding school, are children of workers who have gone out. And the economy is hard, yes, but is it worth a life? Is it worth a life?
When we look at somebody who is in Saudi Arabia now, speak to somebody who is in Saudi Arabia and going through such challenges, what do you think they should do? They went away. They are actually, according to our talk, they are realizing that actually they were trafficked.
If you are in Saudi Arabia, if you are in any of the countries and you feel that you're in a position of being exploited, the first thing that we will ask you to do, if you came through a recruiting agency, is to reach out to that recruiting agency and speak to them, share with them, and record everything. Have a detailed record so that you can show and prove that you're being exploited. If you are there and you went without a clear recruitment agency, my advice to you is to reach out to the nearest Ugandan embassy or high commission. There are people there, there are labor officers who can support you and will be able to advise you accordingly. If you're in a country like Thailand and many others where we do not have an embassy, I suggest that you run to the nearest, if you have a Kenyan embassy near you or a Tanzanian embassy near you, run to one of them, especially Kenyan embassy. Because you see, Uganda, we have gone a long way. Our country has actually done so much. We have been pushing the government and saying, what are you doing? Yes, they made a mistake, but you can't close your eyes. These are Ugandans.
They went to earn a living.
They want to try and earn a living. So what they have done is that they have got into understanding with the under the East African community.
Yes.
And for now, what we have secured is that Uganda and Kenya agreed that whichever Ugandan is stuck and there's a Kenyan embassy, the Kenyan embassy actually not repatriate.
Yes.
They can receive because we are brothers and sisters, and they're able to engage with the next embassy, their colleagues in the embassies, to see how to work it out. But if you can't and you're able to call into Uganda, my advice is get in touch with a relative and let the relative reach the Ministry of Internal Affairs. There is a coordinator for coordinating all of us who are working in this field of trafficking, who sits at Ministry of Internal Affairs, and they can be able to then coordinate and support and see. But the key thing is prevention is better than cure. So before you go, please ensure you validate. And how can you do this? If it is a work permit, go to Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. The Labor Department is the one in charge of validating all work permits. Make sure your work permit is validated. If you're being recruited online, because nowadays you people are looking at these ones who are recruiting companies. But nowadays there's also online recruitment. I go on the thing, I'm looking for a job online, I get the job and go. But east or west, home is best. You may be suffering here, you're poor, what, but at least you will not die here. Okay, someone will say you will die, but you will have the community to protect you.
Wow, amazing. Did you know that when you have a challenge, you're in Saudi Arabia, you're in Dubai, you're in anywhere, you can contact any East African embassy. This is why we are East African. If you're in Uganda and there's no embassy for Uganda, you can run to the Rwandan embassy, you can run to the Kenyan embassy, to the Tanzanian embassy, Burundian embassy, and declare yourself as an East African. That's why we have our passports that are written on East Africa, and that embassy can be able to coordinate with the Ugandan embassy wherever you are. This is great information, guys, and please do not suffer. Know your rights at the end of the day. Let's talk about marriage trafficking. Is there trafficking in marriage? Because so many people arrange marriages. Do we see women being trafficked in getting married to the men they do not want? In actual sense, they realize that actually this marriage was arranged by my friend and I got married to this person, and behind doors, I was being trafficked into this.
There have been stories. There have been stories that have been reported where women are actually recruited from here and taken abroad for the purpose. They leave here saying they're going to be teachers, and they reach the other side and they end up being wives. They're recruited and exploited in that way. But here in Uganda, what you're talking about manifests through what is commonly known as child marriage. So if you are going to recruit a girl, marry her off or marry her when they're below the age of 18. That is also one of the forms of exploitation. And you can be prosecuted under the Prevention of Trafficking in Persons Act 2009. You can be prosecuted under that act, which calls for you to receive the death penalty. Of course, there's no death penalty in terms of they don't kill you, but it automatically translates into the life sentence. So you get life sentence. You will not leave prison.
Wow, forever.
Wow.
People did not know that when you traffic a child, you may have a child who is below 18. And once you're charged human trafficking under the Human Trafficking Law or the Human Trafficking Act, you'll go to jail for 20 years. Once you're found guilty. Check out that girl you're employing, check out that boy you're employing, and make sure they are of age. And even when they are of age 18, we are still young, 20 we are still young. Much as the law says 18 years,
18, 19, you can, those ones
they
are
can
able to
maneuver
work.
and they can
Yes.
defend themselves of
Yes.
what they have
Well,
gone into.
yes. And are able to speak up and all that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would like to appreciate this discussion with you. And as an organization, when we go back to your organization, I've seen your organization was celebrating 25 years.
26
26
this year.
years already, 26 years. What have you done as an organization, a child's right organization that is protecting children against human trafficking?
Yeah.
What have you done on a scale of 10? I will use a scale of 10. Where are you?
Now that scale is very hard, because when you think you have made progress, you end up finding that you have gone a step back.
Yes.
First of all, we are a network
Yes.
of child rights organizations. So we have a thematic group of about 20 organizations that are working on this issue of, of trafficking in persons for children.
Yes.
And that organization, that thematic group, we call it a thematic group, a cluster, that then sits down and engages on issues around child labor, engages on issues around child marriage. FGM is also part of trafficking, by the way.
Yes.
So if you get a girl, recruit her and take her to be cut,
Yes.
that is trafficking, and you can also get life sentence.
Yes.
So we have those organizations that then sit down, and they're the ones who are service delivery. For us, we are a coordinating agency.
Yes.
Our work is around advocacy. Our work is around policy influencing. Our work is around legislative change and influencing in the legislature. And then, I said already, advocacy, high-level advocacy, both at national and international level. So we have spoken out. Every platform we've had, we've spoken out. But UCRNN also belongs to a platform that now engages on specifically trafficking in persons, called the Coalition Against Trafficking in Persons, Uganda, where I happen to be the chairperson for the board. And that coalition also has about 30 organizations that are now working on, whether they're children or adults, on the whole issue of trafficking in persons. And together we have been able to stand up, we have been able to engage government, we've been able to sit with government, and we've been able to see policy change, we have been able to support people returning, those who are trafficked returning home. We've been able to trace families, relocate families, and help them settle back in the country. Look at the Karamajong girls who are trafficked into Nairobi and exploited. They actually, the others, the ones from Napak and all that, are actually trafficked into Nairobi for house girl also that side. And we have seen, we've worked with our organizations, but also with other organizations to bring them back, including IOM, Ministry of Internal Affairs, to bring them home, and also the Kenyan government to bring them home, and are able to sit back with their families. So there's been quite a lot of work done, a lot of awareness creation, diffusing. Many of our organizations have also done capacity building and training, where we have trained members to understand what trafficking is, whether it is police, community leaders, or children or communities. We have done all of that. The final, which is kind of hinted on, is that we have also created platforms for the children and those who are survivors to be able to speak out.
Wow. Wonderful. I have seen a lot of issues in Uganda, but less prosecutions of people who are doing that, most especially the homes that are actually using these children. I've not seen more prosecutions. People call them their relatives. They say, this is my niece, my nephew. It's only on few occasions where we've seen maybe a child being tortured in the home, and many have come in. But it goes into silence again. And people continue doing that in these homes. Have you used the local communities, the local organizations, local area councils, to also put up a campaign and say, if you see somebody employing a child, report here and let's move in, and publicly expose these families? You've not done this. Where have we gone wrong?
So when it comes to the level of prosecution, I think Uganda has come a long way, Brian. A long way. And here I pat, and I think as a country we need to celebrate our Directorate of Public Prosecution. They have come a long way.
Yes.
And we have actually had many wins. We have had many wins. We have had people who have been prosecuted on various cases around trafficking in persons. We have had victories. In fact, I think I do not have the numbers off my fingertip, but last year alone, we had the most prosecutions of persons who are trafficked. I think the problem there is that we have also not done good publicity. And we, I mean, Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, has not done good publicity to share with the public on how these cases are actually successful. Because if people knew that justice is there, they would actually come out and report. So, in terms of the public prosecution and police, there is a lot of well coordinated work, investigations that end up in two successful prosecutions. Successful prosecutions that I will celebrate.
Yes.
In terms of systems, we have also worked around seeing how systems are set up. And I think police right now has a helpline for trafficking where you can just call directly to report any case of trafficking. As a child rights organization, we worked at the very beginning on setting up. You've heard of Sauti 116.
Yes.
We worked. It was birthed in Uganda Child Rights NGO Network. And then after it picked up and was successful, we handed it over to the government. And the government has been running it now for 11 years. They have been running the helpline. That helpline also receives calls on trafficking in persons. And from there, they're able to coordinate themselves with police to go in and immediately do rescues. So in terms of setting up reporting structures and systems for report, I think as a country, we can pat ourselves on the back. Where we need to continue doing more is the publicizing of these hotlines and also in terms of the training and all that. I'll give you an example. In Karamoja, the CFPU now, the Child and Family Protection Officer, the District Child and Protection Officer, has been able to curb last year, curbed more than 400 children would have been on the streets, who were being brought for the purpose of begging on the streets. And he was able to curb them, follow them up even to Soroti and make sure that they don't leave once the wind or the intelligence has come in. And that has been a lot of work that has been gone through. And when those are caught, they go look for the parents, even to the point of the parents are even prosecuted on child neglect. Because if your child abandoned, how comes you didn't report? If your child disappeared, how comes you didn't report? So there is also holding parents accountable. This issue is not even about pointing and saying this one. This is the problem. The police is the problem. This is a community issue. If a child disappeared, what have you done?
I'll give you this scenario. Under my organization, Bravo Shoes Community Support Organization, we resettled the child in Ibanda. And when we got Ibanda, we got this child who had disappeared on the streets of Kampala. And then we noticed that this child came through a bus. He narrated to us and even told us the bus which he sneaks into. We told everyone that this child went through, and the child was testifying how they went through the bus. Now, buses have been the source of human transiting and trafficking.
Yes.
The owners of the buses have not taken the initiative to see children who are unaccompanied going through their buses, and these children are able to pay money. Have you involved the buses, especially in Uganda, because these children go through the buses? Have you involved the bus owners, and have you put up strict and stringent, fines or prosecutions of the owners of these buses, where children sneak into and get to Kampala or whatever they are?
In my previous work, yes. In the current work, no. But in the previous work, and I know some organizations have continued to engage the bus operators. That's the private sector now. But I know one of them that told me, that's none of my business. As long as they give me money, I don't care.
I don't care where their destination is.
And you see, at that point, the person in charge of counter trafficking turned and said, it is none of your business. But when you're behind the jail, you'll know how it was your business and how you have profited from trafficking in persons. I think it is very inhumane. And that's why I'm telling you, we need the private sector on board. Yes, but I'll tell you that Ministry of Works has gone ahead, and once we are able to report and prove that this bus company has broken the rules, they actually have a tribunal where they're supposed to go. You bring your issues, you present it, and all that. And if they've shown and have not followed, they give them the warnings, change. If you do not change, have the policies. I have actually known some bus companies, I'll not mention names here, but I've known some bus companies that have actually been suspended. Their license has been suspended by Uganda because we have reported that they have continuously been a vessel facilitating trafficking in persons. One boldly told me in my face, as long as I'm being paid, it's none of my business. And when we invited them back for another meeting, they never came back because they said you are distorting our money.
Maybe they're big shots.
Well, these ones are not really even big shots, but they're just money hungry. They're not human.
And maybe they're full of ignorance and they're not
and
aware.
For me, that already raises that if they're thinking of money, they're not thinking of human beings.
Yes. Money first.
I even at that time I wanted to run a campaign and say boycott this bus company.
Yes.
Boycott it. And maybe I should get to that level.
Yes. Maybe we should have the campaigns in the country where the community comes in
and the community
for their
and the communities actually know which buses. They know. If you go to the different regions, like you've said, they know. They will tell you.
Like in that documentary, the bus companies mentioned very clearly. The child says, "I came through this bus, and it's what I may come in here." But maybe it will land into the right people that will take a decision on that bus. Now, when we go back, let's go back to something that is also common. I don't know whether you call it trafficking. You've seen so many people transit from Uganda to USA, to the United States of America. And as the USA is trying now to change their visa policies and whatever they're doing, so many people who go on visit visas, and when they get to the USA, they have gone for visiting. And they are actually taken over by the community that is in the United States, who convince them to stay and overstay their visas. But in this line, they are actually being taken over, and their passports are hidden, and they end up overstaying, and they turn into, how do you call it? We turn into asylum. Okay? In this guise, they are turned into asylum seekers when they have left the country, actually with no challenges of needing asylum. Is that human trafficking also in that category of people who are convinced to leave the country through visas that are not proper, and they end up reaching there and they turn themselves into it? Is that human trafficking?
No, it is not human trafficking, because remember, for human trafficking to happen, there are three ingredients. There is the act, where you have there's the act of recruitment, act of transportation, act of harboring, and then there is the means. How was it done? Was it through deceit? Was it through coercion? Was it through abuse of office? Was it through and quite a number of other means? That is means. And then all these two happen for a reason, and the reason is one, to be exploited. So that one was not being exploited. He was actually seeking a better life and lying. That one is deceit on their own, and they are not being exploited in any way. It is not human trafficking.
You know, when I talk about exploitation, somebody tells you when you go to US,
you're
going to solve all the problems of your family.
Yeah.
You get there, for example, I would use this example. You're a doctor here, you're a lawyer here, okay? You're a big person here, and somebody says you can make your life better in USA. But when you get in the USA, you realize that actually you need to work as a security guard.
It's still not exploitation.
Or you need to work as a job that was not actually your level, but for you to make ends meet.
It's still not exploitation.
Yes.
You see, where it can end up happening, but you can also travel using the right documentation.
Yes.
And still end up being trafficked.
And exploited there.
If you are if you're exploited there, you had the visa, you moved the correct way, you got a visitor's visa, you went there. Now, when you went to visit your boyfriend, he confiscated your passport. Right?
Not going back.
Not going back. That already begins to change the story. it now can end up into trafficking.
Yes.
Because then there you're exploited, you're taken into the brothels, used sexually. Now that becomes trafficking. But if you're going there and you decide that you're changing your status from visitor to asylum,
Yes.
that one is not trafficking.
It's a personal decision.
That's a personal decision.
Yes.
There has to be, for it to be trafficking, there has to be a form of exploitation being taken. You're pushed into the corner and you have no choice. You're debt bound. I paid for, if the person travels and says you move the correct way, but then the person says, now you know what? I paid for your ticket. I paid for your visa. I paid for your night in Dubai. You have to pay me back that money. Before you pay me back that money, you can't go back.
Yes.
And your passport is 2 years, your visa is 2 years. Pay me back in the 2 years. And you're exploited. And then after those 2 years, say, but wait, you have been staying here. I have paid your accommodation. That becomes now debt bondage.
Yes.
So now, because of that, that turns now from a good travel, a good migration, into exploitation, and you can be charged for trafficking. So that can equally happen. You can move from here, travel to Mecca. You're going for the pilgrimage. And then when you get there, your situation changes. You lose your passport, you lose your what, and then somebody comes and takes advantage of you. That can turn into trafficking. Because you see, at that point, the person is going to come and recruit you and say, hey, your passport got lost. Oh, come and I take you where you can. So they've recruited you. Then when they take you to the place they're going to keep you, they say, now you stay here as you wait. You've been here 2 months, you have to pay me back the 2 months. So now, for you to pay back, you have to go and work. That becomes debt bondage, and that shifts.
Wow. That's amazing. I hope we're able to get great information out of our discussion. We have the online dating.
Yes.
Let's talk about the online dating that is popular now. Are people using online dating to do human trafficking?
Yeah.
Is there proof that through online dating, all these apps that have come in place that are for dating, connecting women to the right husbands out of the country, do they have some degree of human trafficking? And if somebody is on the app or somebody is jumping onto the app of dating, what should they be aware of in line of human trafficking?
I would not have the answer to the last one because I've not tried to do online dating, Brian. So I don't know if I'll be the best to answer that one.
Yeah.
I haven't taken time to study that.
Yes.
But I'll tell you that what you're talking about is the online recruitment.
Yes.
Basically, that's what we are talking about. Yes. Online recruitment. Online recruitment happens. And sometimes, so I've talked about trafficking and I've said that and people may end up thinking to be trafficked, you have to move from one place to another.
Yes.
You don't have to be.
Yes.
You can also be trafficked from home,
yes,
inside your house.
Okay.
Now, the online recruitment happens, and you have seen this where people can come in, get onto your camera, befriend you online,
yes,
and then they get to our daughters, to our sons, yes, and then start saying, you're my friend, we are friends. Then you get on, they become friends. Then they say, you just take off only your top, and then you become my boyfriend, yes, and then the top is taken off, and then the person is recording, and then is broadcasting that. That is also trafficking. It's online trafficking, whereby the person has recruited you, they have groomed you, they have prepared you, said, but we are friends. After 1 year,
sends you money,
sends you even an iPhone,
yeah,
you put on so that you can record, send you the equipment to record. And then later on, their goal is that they are recruiting you, grooming. They call it grooming.
Yes.
They groom you until then finally say, hey, boyfriend, show me the breasts. Then they take off, they show the breasts.
Yeah.
Then they're able to then start saying, and eventually it turns into exploitation. They have recruited. Yeah. You don't have to have moved out of your house.
They're even recording.
They're recording.
And then you're going also to see your video somewhere, even when it is live.
Yes.
There are gadgets behind that are recording you, and you find yourself in.
So that is a form of trafficking. It's called the online cyber trafficking, and it can happen, and it happens in Uganda, of German or Netherlands, I don't remember, but of European descent, yes, who was actually trafficking girls in Kalangala. Yes. So
he wasn't German, I think. So.
He was not even sexually active, yes, but you'd give them the toys, and you'd have the video, and he would not even be there. The cameras were recording, and you tell them to, and then you'd give them the things that would stimulate the girls up and make them want to play with themselves, and give them the toys, and they would record, and he was selling that.
Recording remotely.
Child pornography.
Yes.
In other words, that's what I'm
Yes.
talking about.
Yes.
It becomes child pornography, which internationally, child pornography, you can be prosecuted as trafficking.
Yes.
It's one of the forms of exploitation.
And with these mobile phones, smartphones,
Yes.
with our children,
Yes.
I think it's better. So if you're out there, make sure that you tell your child, your daughter, your
Yeah.
son, that there's trafficking online as well. Your children exposing themselves online with these boyfriends who actually send them money. They will send you money, they will send them anything. The housewives, they are there. The women are out there. They have their online boyfriends that are actually doing everything, even when they have the money. At the end of the day, they realize that yes, money is being exchanged. They do not know that somebody is taking out your content and sending out to the other world.
Yeah, and you asked the question of what can we do? What can we tell people out there?
Yes.
One, if you're a parent, get interested in who the online friends are.
Yes. If they
Don't give them the phone
Yeah.
and then abandon it. Get to know who is the online phone. Who is that person they're FaceTiming with all the time? Who is that person they're WhatsApp videoing with the whole time? Who are those friends internationally? Get to know them. Befriend the friends so that if anything happens, your child is telling you the stories and everything. Don't give them the gadget and pull away. Be a part of their lives. Do you check the games they're playing? Do you check everything that they're doing online? So, as a parent, the first thing is that we need to be involved. If you're old enough, check the people you're befriending, the boyfriends and all that. Is it really the right thing for you to do? To start going naked online and all that. Know that people can manipulate and use those gadgets for their own good. If you are going to do that, make sure it is with somebody who you know. You can hold accountable. Somebody you know you can hold accountable.
And these days, I mean, children's right. I mean, we say that children have their rights to do anything. But I think as a parent,
But they have a responsibility.
Absolutely.
Whenever we're talking about children's rights, we emphasize you have a right, but you have a responsibility. So they have a right to information, but their responsibility is to use the gadget at the right time and to use it within the acceptable means. So if they're going to have the gadget, let them have it, but use it for education. Use it for calling the parents, and not use it for abusing other people or disrupting harm or being harmful to other people. I say disrupting harm because we are on a campaign of disrupting harm, making sure that even online engagements are not harmful to children.
Wow. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a great pleasure having you, my brother. And I hope that this podcast is able to give information to anyone out there. Please share our content. If you see this content, share it out for somebody, sister, brother, to listen in, understand that they are in this era of human trafficking. And each day, human trafficking is becoming a global problem. We're doing this. You can also do it out there by making, information available for each and everyone. So in few words, my brother, what do you tell somebody who feels that they are being trafficked, and how do they come out of it? In few words, how do they act? How do they take in this information, and what decision should they take?
The first thing I tell you is do not stay silent. Do not stay silent, do not stay quiet. Report to the nearest authority. If you're being trafficked in Uganda and you're in Uganda, report to the nearest police station. Ask for the OC in charge of CID and report your case to that OC. OC stands for Officer in Charge of the CID, and report to them. If not, and you have access to a phone and you're in Uganda, call 116. Sauti 116. It's a toll-free line. And you'll be able to report, and they'll be able to come and rescue you. If you are also out of the country, report to the nearest embassy. There are hotlines. There are even emails that you can send your concern to. These emails are online, I do not have them off my head, but they are online and can easily be gotten by anyone. The last is tell somebody. If you're suffering and you can't speak, tell somebody.
Wonderful.
Tell somebody.
Thank you. Stop the suffering. And you could also write down in our podcast. You can write in our comments. We can pick that information and send them to him or to the organizations that are responsible in rescuing children, the girl child who is being trafficked there. And
And
even
the
if,
boys.
and the boys as well.
And the
If you're in a
boys.
home and you see somebody employing this child that really needs to be saved, report, and then this child will be saved. So thank you so much again. My name is Bravo, and it's always my pleasure having different topics on this and seeing that we create value in our communities, in our society, in our country as well. Thank you.